Libby Schultz's debut novel, Win Condition, was inspired by her work as a founder in the crypto industry. Narrated by 5-time Audie Award winner Gabra Zachman, it received Book Life's editor's pick. She recently wrote an article on world building with digital currencies that will be featured in SWSW's upcoming blog on November 26, 2024. Over to you, Libby.
Thank you. I'll just get straight into it. That was a great prequel. So I'm going to start with my prologue, and that's just where the story begins. And the title of the prologue is All or Nothing. Tavi Xanatos gripped the edge of his terminal, knowing his knight would not return. As if in answer, the knight saluted and lowered his visor, its black armor shining as it marched away. His knight, a digital hero known as the Gallant, wasn't any more real than other assets in the sim. Yet who could call Breakpoint a mere game? The knight was his last chance to protect the life of an innocent man. Cultivated and patched through the ages, Breakpoint served as a proxy for war. A 30-meter hallway separated Tavi, a reclusive engineer who trained on AI sims, from his opponent and childhood hero, EQ Kiseran, 9-time world champion and treasure to his nation. Though EQ was past the usual retirement age, his ability seemed to only improve with time. With a few more victories, his 5-year winning streak would soon become 6. Tavi adjusted his camera to study the man he had trained to become for the last 15 years. His camera peeked through the crystalline walls of EQ's battle room to reveal a solemn face free of strain, giving not a hint of the 12 hours of battle that had left Tavi and his army broken and battered. Tavi curled his hand into a fist that routinely broke bricks, wishing it could smash down the door that secured EQ in his 5x5 meter chamber. But as long as EQ, Perfection Incarnate, entered a 32-byte hash at the top of each hour, there would be no physical combat. Which meant Tavi's 6-second flow knockout technique would remain useless, and which left Tavi fighting on the strategy board, pitted against EQ's nearly clairvoyant ability to predict his every move. Tavi waved a hand, and his view of the battlefield shifted into a panoramic display of the board. His knight moved into position and merged with a platoon of 20 soldiers, each unit indistinguishable except for the triple-plumed helm that marked the Gallant as the commander. His knight paced up and down the double-row formation, then pointed to the front line and yelled, "Move!" The platoon marched forward as one until they stood at a narrow section of a mountain pass overlooking a valley. A sea of enemy white swarmed below. Knight and platoon formed a wedge of black, staking their shields into the earth, then drawing their bows. Tavi bowed his head. "You will be remembered." Though he wasn't playing for the fate of a nation, Tavi was still being used as a pawn. The elite often coerced rivals into making impossible breakpoint wagers. Oran Karelian, first citizen of Char and leader of the known world, had forced a simple merchant to bet his life on Tavi's winning against EQ. When the merchant died, Horan would complete his third monopoly. News anchors had already declared EQ's victory as a foregone conclusion. A chime rang, signaling an incoming message marked with EQ's silver seal. It was an invitation to resign and get paid a small yet significant portion of the prize money, a custom from an older age meant to honor a worthy opponent. Touched that his hero approved of his skills, Tavi sat up a bit taller. Then the reality of the merchant's fate sank in. As soon as he accepted that money, drone enforcers could vaporize the merchant without so much as a make your peace. Tavi closed his eyes. His small startup that had poured his soul into for a decade needed that money, and the merchant's death was inevitable. But EQ's invitation to speed things along shattered the illusion that Tavi could play the game and remain innocent. He had known these kind of deaths happened, but they had always felt one step removed, atrocities committed by the oligarchy that stomped on everything to get what it wanted, surely nothing to do with regular folk like him. Disgust and rage roiled within, as the first citizen's unquenchable greed, at EQ's callous indifference, and at himself most of all for having dedicated his life to this game that culminated into such a despicable moment. Tavi sent his thanks and regrets, feeling simultaneously righteous and idiotic as he traded pride for poverty. I'm going to stop there. My audio narrator is a much better narrator than me, and so that is related to the giveaway today. As a little promotion for Sound Booth Theater, which is an indie audiobook platform, I'm gonna give a copy of their of the audiobook away for free if you sign up, so you can listen to the whole thing. And it's also available right now on Kindle for 99 cents. Thank you so much.